Hello everyone, welcome to Mars transit in Taurus, beginning on August the 11th, going right up until the 16th of October. But be sure he will be back very soon, within a month, into Taurus again for a very long retrograding transit. So this initial part of his transit in Taurus is very, very important. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. If the video is good for you, give it a thumbs up. Let's begin. So Mars, the great warrior, has gone into the sign of Taurus. People are saying, well, maybe this is good. It's the sign of home. It's a sign of peace, but it's not a good place for Mars. You see, Mars is now halfway round the zodiac. He's a little bit tired. He's been fighting on that battlefield, Sagittarius, getting up to all his demands in fire sign Aries. And now he's in an earth sign. He's in the field. He's had to take out the plow, put aside his weapons. Is he happy with this? Not at all. So Mars in Taurus gets everybody up from their backsides, basically. It is no good being a couch potato, because Mars in Taurus makes everybody aware of one thing: financial security or not. The trouble is that Mars is fire energy, Agni energy, and he feels in Taurus that nothing he does can happen quickly. He's really contained, restrained. He's up to his knees in mud. So some people find this Mars in Taurus very constraining. They're going to feel restrained, as though they just can't do things they've wanted to do. But don't be afraid. With careful planning, as I say, you have to put your hand to the plow. You have to start to work in your life. Much profit financially can be made, but not quickly. Taurus is not a quick buck, a quick return. It is hard work only. Now, on the world financial market situation, it's not that good. Mars in Taurus, and don't forget, it's going to continue after this transit right up until March, when it goes into Gemini and comes back again. So more to come later on that. Mars in Taurus does not favor speculation, stock market in any way. It's the opposite. People are conservative. Holding on to what they've got is actually good for savers more than spenders, not for speculators, definitely. So this is the opposite sign to Scorpio, sign of the stock market. It's not exactly buoyant. It's the opposite. However, everyone, it's not all doom and gloom. Mars is property, Taurus is the land. So property deals, landed interest, excellent, particularly up until the end of this 8-week period. I would say first 6 weeks only. After that, Mars slows down towards the end of Taurus. It's not so good. Those of you thinking to move home, buy property, renovate property, Mars in Taurus can be excellent for all of these factors. In personal matters, domestic issues, home issues, relationships, marriage, Mars in Taurus is a little bit disruptive also, but it can make people very passionate, very concerned to get married, settle down. You're not interested in, let's say, romance that is not going anywhere. Mars in Taurus is forward about marriage, settling down. So this may occur for some individuals, but avoid possessiveness, jealousy, all of these things. Mars in the sign of Venus, it can get a little touchy. How to use the readings, everybody. You can read from your ascendant in your Vedic chart or from your moon sign. I advise read from both. Moon is equally as important. If you're not sure about ascendant in your Vedic chart or your moon sign, check below to a website at the bottom of my description box to bring up your Vedic chart. Let's begin. For Aries, Moon and Aries Lagna, it's a double-edged sword when your Lord goes into the second house of your chart. It slows down all of that energy you've had recently. My goodness, have you been moving and shaking recently? You're going to slow down now that Mars has gone into Taurus. As I just said, Mars in Taurus makes everybody a little bit insecure financially. You will definitely feel this because he is your 8th house lord. You'll be wanting to tie up loose ends financially in your life, and you'll be very concerned about relationship factors as Mars is in the sign of your 7th house lord, Venus. However, Mars is a bit stuck in mud, as I say, so you will feel, Aries Moon, Lagna, like you're a bit stuck in mud during the next 8 weeks. Don't get impatient. Don't get into quarrels. This is a house of speech, family quarrels, particularly financial quarrels and entanglements. Angry words will not help you. Now, students and those of you who are on any sort of educational learning at all, Mars' fourth aspect onto the fifth house of learning and the ninth house of higher education, knowledge, philosophy, father as well, teachers, mentors. You can get a lot of help on your course, but don't argue. Don't get up against your teachers. Don't get too argumentative, fixed. Be more flexible in your ideas. Education can be hugely beneficial for you at this time. However, since Mars is your eighth house lord of crisis, Mars in the second house can give a crisis situation in your education. Some of you may feel literally stuck, as though it's just not what you wanted in a course. Have patience. Trying to change everything now will not help things. You will just get more stuck. At least wait until the end of this transit, the end of these 8 weeks when Mars moves into Gemini. As Mars is your 8th house lord, aspecting 8th house, there can be difficult business decisions some of you have to make. It's a bit of a crisis point. Take advice. Don't do anything impulsive. Taurus won't allow that to work out. As I say, the frustration that you feel sometimes in this next 8 weeks may come out in your speech, avoid quarrels, but also in your eating behavior. Mars makes you impulsive, almost compulsive eater. Be careful, it can affect your health. Why? Because the actual house behind Mars is the ascendant. Mars can have negative effect in the house 12 to itself. Watch your health during this time. Don't do anything impulsive, diet-wise, exercise-wise. Watch out and everything will be fine. By the way, speculation, gambling, Mars aspects 5th house could be tempting to you now. Mars aspecting stock market house, have caution. Mars is not in the best position to actually give you good results in these. As I say, it's a very contentious time in your family life because Mars is your lord in this second house of family, but also with your children because of this fourth aspect. You're a little bit controlling towards them. It could all backfire with some tempers flying and some arguments, difficulties there. Those of you seeking to start a family, though, may be successful. For Taurus ascendant and Taurus moon, Mars in the first house of your chart is energizing in both cases. But there is a difference between the moon and ascendant prediction. So let me just begin with that. From the ascendant sign, it's a quite combative factor, but you're feeling energized, motivated, getting things done in your life. Unless you have a lot of malefics like Shani, Rahu, Ketu in this first 7th house in your chart, you're going to accomplish a lot. From the moon sign, domestic upheaval and difficulty can be quite stressful. You're feeling very stressed and agitated even though you are going to get a lot done. So moon sign Taurus people, take care to give yourself peace and quiet. Even time for some meditation would calm down some of the negative effects of Mars being in the moon sign. But for everyone, energy is coming to you now. All of a sudden, you will wake up to the plans you've been wanting to do for quite some time. Certainly all of you, Moon and Ascendant, have had a difficult transit Mars 12th house, Aries. Now you're ready to take the opportunities open to you, particularly some areas of your life are going to definitely benefit. The first is the domestic sphere. Definitely Mars is going to get you into property dealing, moving many of you, rearranging your house, renovating, basically even just decluttering your house. You've got so much energy to put into home affairs. There's going to be a huge improvement in all of these factors. In some cases, for some of you, mother may be having issues, health issues, even spouse, because Mars is 7th house lord. But don't worry about this. Mars gives you tremendous energy to deal with any difficult situation. You come across now, and indeed you are very competent, very much in control. You have energy, dynamism to give to any domestic situation, helping family members most certainly. Now, Mars 7th aspect on the 7th house of relationships. As I say, partner may be having some ill health, or partner has stress, financial difficulties, something is weakening them. You are taking control. This can be good, but avoid arguments, avoid contention. Just do what you need to do, help, and do not interfere. That's the thing. Mars aspecting 8th house, business partnerships come under tremendous strain now. In fact, all business dealings, whether it's partnership or just self-employment, you've got to make some major financial changes. Some of you, wills, legacies, and inheritances also come to the fore. Take some care with your own health. You are taking on so much now, doing so much, you're not having enough peace, particularly, as I say, from the moon sign. Moon in Taurus, definitely. Now, Mars here can make you a little bit accident prone, so watch out for that. But the good news is that Mars has a 12th factor aspect, if you like, or is influencing the 12th house of the chart. And this is the house of loss. So you can avoid financial loss. You can take quick action now to actually make many profits in your life. And this can only be favorable. For Gemini Moon and Gemini Ascendant, one tip I can give you: when Mars goes to the 12th house of your chart, he is your 11th and your 6th house lord. Keep a low profile. You can do so much from behind the scenes, keeping a low profile, keeping your thoughts to yourself, planning ahead. It's a great time for planning for when Mars enters into your own sign, which will be at the end of this transit. Mars in the 12th house for Gemini can make you very anxious, very ill at ease, very worried about all sorts of things that you don't need to worry about. Yes, you need to take care of your health now. Health situations, sudden factors may come up. You can deal with them immediately and sort them out. Financially, though, 12th house to Mars is the 11th house. Your income, some of you, may be actually going down a little bit. It's a fluctuating factor, maybe a bit unexpected. Whatever it is, you're going to come out of this financial constraint. Don't worry at all. Take it easy. Just accept a little bit less dynamism in your life as you retreat and plan ahead. The trouble is that Mars in the 12th house is going to definitely give you itchy feet. That's the thing. Mars is going to make you want to travel abroad, travel locally, be on the move. Even a little bit of escapism comes there. You want to escape from the confines of your situation, work situation, maybe difficulties with your workmates, work colleagues also. As this next 8 weeks is a lot of stress on the job, shown by Mars aspect onto the 6th house and to the 3rd house. Quarrels, contentions, disagreements with your work colleagues may be there. Don't get embroiled in it. It will only make things worse. There's a lot of inattention when you have Mars 12th house, definitely. And with your siblings, this can be there. Things are not being spoken out openly, honestly. They want to help you, but are you accepting it? Mars aspecting 7th house here by the 8th aspect. There's an 8-6 aspect between 7th house and this Mars. So what's happening is you're feeling tense with your spouse, but you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to be open. You want to hide things. It's a difficult, tense moment. But don't worry. Mars goes into your 1st house at the end of this transit. It will sort out many of these factors. For Cancer Ascendant and Cancer Moon, Mars is a Yoga Karaka planet for you. He brings you great good fortune when he's in a good position. He's in it now. Mars in the 11th house. Make the most of this powerful transit in your life. Now, Mars is your 5th house lord, and he's also the lord of your 10th house. He brings you great profit in your work situation. He gives you promotion. He gives you creativity. He's going to give that to you now. If you've been looking for a new job, you can find it. Looking for promotion, you can have it. Looking to get on top of all contentions with your work colleagues, work situations, you can sort it all out during this dynamic and really favorable transit. You will feel supported by your friendship networks because they see your purpose, your dynamism, and they are in harmony with you because Mars in Taurus affects everybody, but you have it in the 11th house about network circles. So you become a bit of a leader within your network social circles. The aspect of Mars to the 2nd house is absolutely excellent. This is where you get that extra income, where you sort out financial situations, secure finances for yourself. Security means everything to Cancer Moon, Cancer Lagna. Mars is in Taurus. I've just spoken at the beginning of the video. Everybody's getting insecure. You will be too, but you will, however, be in a very good position to sort things out in your favor, going to make you feel very happy indeed. Now, there may be quarrels, contentions in your family circle because of Mars' fourth aspect, but generally you will take control of them. Family will look to you for help, look to you for security, and you will provide it. So you will actually help relationships between family members, and you will feel very much happier to give lots of help to them. So family becomes essentially important to you during the next 8 weeks, and harmony, even though a little bit up and down sometimes, can be coming around into your favor. Watch your speech though. Mars makes you very pushy during this time, extremely open about your opinions, so naturally some issues may be there. Aspect of Mars to the fifth house affects students. Students are doing very well in their studies now. You are dynamic, loving learning, ready to go with anything new. You are definitely going to do very well in any educational situation. If you are looking to start a family, that could also be very favorable during this time. If you have legal situations ongoing, quarrels, contentions, legalities, Mars's eighth aspect will completely end them now. One way or the other, legal factors will be finished. You will be more or less happy with this, probably because Mars has that dynamic as he aspects sixth house. You will bring any ongoing conflicts with your own health as well to an end now. Any ongoing health issue, you will see to it immediately. You will finally get the right instructions, the right medication, the right help, the right consultation. You will know exactly what you have to do. If you've got debts, if you've got outstanding finances, once again, you will wipe them clean. You will not hesitate to deal with these things. You don't want this debt and financial worry hanging around you now. You take smart action about it. So it's extremely favorable financially. Finally, sixth house is small animals and pets. They may be having some issues now, but once again, quick action deals with it in a very favorable way. Leo ascendant, Leo moon, watch out. There's going to be some great activity in your life and in your career, but you could trip yourself up. Just don't go over the top, because Mars is giving you supersonic energy during this transit. See, Mars is a fire energy. He's going into an earth house, 10th house, karma bhava. So what does this mean? This means that from ascendant and moon sign, you're pushing ahead, but you may push a little bit too far. You see, you're very ambitious now. Mars is your yoga karaka. But the chances are you're going to have some major conflicts in your career area during the next 8 weeks. This factor about the transit is that Mars always has a destructive effect on the 12th house to himself. In this case, it's the 9th house in your chart. So difficulties with your father, quarrels, contentions with your teachers, mentors, even gurus sometimes will definitely be there. You are feeling very independent, pushing ahead under your own steam. You are not listening to any advice whatsoever. There could be quarrels with superiors and the boss, most definitely. A lot of tension could be there during this next 8 weeks. Some of you just feel like walking out, leaving everything behind, but maybe wait a little, because you could just go from the frying pan into the fire. Literally, you are so impulsive. It affects students because 9th house rules higher education. You'll be feeling like you're not happy on this course. Something isn't quite what it should be. Mars aspect, 8th aspect onto the 5th house. You want to learn, but you're feeling impatient. Hold on, because Mars can get yourself into a very difficult situation if you just leave things behind now. Mars in this Earth sign doesn't allow you free movement. You think if you just end everything, you can start again afresh, but that won't happen. At least wait until Mars gets into the very favorable 11th house of your chart, which will happen at the end of the transit. But the favorable factor is that Mars has a 4th aspect onto the ascendant. Your health will improve. Your exercise routine will improve. You're definitely going to do everything to make yourself healthier, fitter. And you're extremely forthright, feeling a big freeing up about your expression during this time. So you can actually have a very strong impact on other people during the next 8 weeks. So save it for those really important occasions. You don't want to get people's backs up, as I've just explained. Still, there will definitely be some conflicts unavoidable in your domestic situation. You're not happy with that. There can be quarrels, contention with the people that you live with. You want to move, you want to renovate, you want to buy and sell property. You're impatient for all of this. But listen again if you have to the beginning of the video. The beginning of the transit is favorable, not so much at the end. If you have children, definite difficulties with them because of Mars's 8th aspect onto this 5th house. They may be doing things you would rather they were not. They may have ideas you are not happy with, depends on their age. Or they may be having sickness, illness, and you have to help them. It's a house of romance, love affairs. Mars is in actual Venus sign aspecting this house. There could be a very strong attraction, maybe in the workplace. Some of you, maybe not. Once again, Mars in Taurus says take everything slow at all times. For Virgo Moon and Virgo Lagna, Mars is your 8th house lord, but also your 3rd lord. He very much rules your ego desires, but he brings you into conflict and into some relationship or financial difficulty. In the 9th house, though, he can work quite well for you. He's in an earth sign, but you are an earth sign. So you are one of the signs that can work well, actually, with this Mars earth type energy. Students and anyone engaged in any higher learning, philosophy, whatever it is, educational factor, you will gain definitely. Mars here gives you dynamism, ability to study long hours. Aspecting 12th house, you can actually go into retreat and just study on your own happily. Mars here will definitely give you all the energy to get the most out of your course, even if you feel a little bit restless, because Mars has this 8th aspect onto the 4th house. You will still actually do well. If you apply yourself to your studies, you will get excellent results. Not just academic education, Mars rules astrology itself and aspecting 12th house of philosophy, deep secrets and study, spirituality. You can get a great deal of in-depth spiritual understanding and wisdom during this period. So you're going to have some quarrels, contentions, potentially with father or even teachers, gurus, people who are advising you maybe there. Also with your siblings. You're very, very independent thinker during this time, and you need space to actually work things out for yourself. Many of you are thinking of long distance travel also at this time. If you are engaged in any foreign journeys, long distance travel, they will go well for you. You will enjoy them, but expect some unexpected factors because Mars is your 3rd house lord. So it's not going to be smooth, but you will still get enjoyment. The biggest factor about Mars 9th house is the 8th aspect to the 4th house of home. Now this is not easy. You're feeling restless with your domestic living situation. It's not satisfying you, but you don't quite know what to do yet. Good news, Mars, as I say, in this earth sign works well with your ascendant sign. It's a good time to make long-range goals about domestic situation, about home moves, property deals. It's a very good time to just shift through all the stuff you don't need. The 8th aspect of Mars is about transformation. So you can transform your domestic situation, home situation in a really dynamic way during this transit. For Libra Moon, Libra Lagna, Mars is your 7th house lord, and when he's going into the 8th house of your chart, watch out because your partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, close friends even sometimes, but mainly spousal connections or partner type relationships are going to go through some form of conflict. Now, don't get worried about this because you hate conflict, that's for sure. You can manage it. You see, it's about finances. Why? Because Scorpio is your 2nd house lord. So spousal finances, personal finances, even how you manage things together, it's all going to come up for a major period of transformation. But it's going to make you feel a little bit insecure. As I said, Mars Taurus has that factor for many people, yourself included. Because Mars is the lord of your 7th house, spouse, himself, herself, whoever it is, may be going through some conflict, some transformation themselves. They may be having financial difficulties, job loss, or something which is troubling them, some major change in their own life, and it's impacting deeply on yourself. If you are involved in any business dealings or a self-employed business person, wow, this is a major transformative time, but take it slowly. You are normally an excellent business person. Libra is a sign of business, but things are not working out financially now and major changes have to be made. Taurus suggests think everything through slowly to make the right decisions. But the good news is that Mars, as your second house lord, has a fourth aspect onto the house of gain. So many of you can actually start something new, start a new business, start a new enterprise, start a new major source of income in your life during this period. It's a major rehaul, though, of your savings, of everything to do with pension pots, investments, etc., to allow this to happen because personal finances are not working at the moment. And this is a house of stock market. Once again, avoid speculation. As I've said at the beginning of this video, Mars 8th house, Taurus, can be very tricky for this sort of gain. Now, Mars aspect in second house of your chart, there will be quarrels, contentions, once or twice at the minimum with your family members. It may be about finance, it may be about family concerns, things which you've not been wanting to talk about. 8th house matters, but they need to come out into the open. You may be dealing with wills, legacies, inheritances. This may be a source of conflict. Watch your speech. Mars aspecting second house makes you impulsive in your speech. And watch your diet as well. Mars here can make any dietary regime difficult to maintain. One thing for sure, Mars 8th aspect on the third house, your siblings may be having issues. They may need your help and even some of them your financial help. Scorpio, Moon and Lagna, watch out for some major confrontations with your partner, with your boss, with your colleagues, with your business partner. There's going to be some fireworks flying, but it's not going to be as obvious as that because Mars is in the sign of Taurus. So you're going to be feeling very, very powerful during this transit because Mars is your lord. And when he's in a Kendra house, he increases the force of power in your life. Now, for sure, Mars in himself is in a Morikastana position, but he's your lord here. So actually, this apparent sense of weakness simply means that you need to cooperate. You need to listen to other people more. They may be more on your side, particularly partners, business partners, colleagues even, than you could imagine. Don't go off on a tangent now. Don't become super reactive, which you may be tempted to be in this transit. Mars is your lord of first house, of course, health, well-being, but also sixth house of health matters. He's gone to the seventh house of consultation. You need to take consultation if you have long-lasting health issues or sudden health issues coming up, as they might well do during the next 8 weeks. If you take consultation, if you listen to advisors, you can make great progress dealing with any health matter. Watch out for accidents, mishaps, though, because Mars aspects first house. Just be cautious with everything. Don't be quick. Don't be off the handle. You can be a little bit sparks flying when Mars is in a Kendra position. The real issue, though, is in your work situation, in your career. You want to make major changes, major shifts here, but you feel a bit stuck about it because Mars is in this incompatible Earth sign. He is your lord, but he's in a situation of earth energy. Like I say, he's wading through mud. So you feel literally as though you are wading through mud a little bit in the next 8 weeks, especially as far as your career is concerned. You are very tempted to confront the boss, superiors, anybody to make things shift, and you're actually going to come over the completely wrong way if you should do this. It's not a good time for major confrontation. The key is to change what you can change in your career. If you make sensible changes now without upsetting anyone, it's going to be fine. But major changes, major moves, when Mars at the end of this transit goes into Gemini, you will have some opportunities opening up to you at that time. Your intimate relationships, partners, spouse, there's going to be some definite contention. Mars here, it all comes out into the open. You're talking openly with your spouse. Mars is your lord. And depending on their chart and how they can react to it, sparks again may fly a little bit. But actually, it'll be mostly favorable. You'll be able to get things out into the open, know where you're going in this relationship. If you are calm about it, it can actually be constructive. positive. If you're seeking new relationships, a very strong attraction may be there because Mars, your Lord, is in the sign of Venus, ruling spouse. So potential relationship may appear, or you may be keen to take things a step further. Once again, patience and caution is needed. Full cooperation, full openness and honesty between you is necessary because of Mars's Marikastana position. Sagittarius, Moon and Ascendant. Mars, your 12th Lord, definitely, but he's going into the 6th house of your chart. And he is also the Lord of your 5th house, a favorable house. So this is going to be good for you. Mars' 6th house gets you on top of many long-lasting problems. He gives you power. But you've got to take everything slowly because he is in this earth sign. Now, Mars in Taurus does take things slowly, and you don't like slow. You like quick. You like fast movement. You haven't got that much patience if things are taking a long time. But still, Mars gets power from this 6th house position. So if you dig your heels in now, literally, you can make a lot of progress dealing with things that you've left undealt with for quite some time. Now, this could mean many things. It could be even a conflict litigation, which you've had to go through, but you've been putting off. Now you have to do it. Or it could just be everyday matters in your home, things that need seeing to, which you've been not seeing to, putting them off. It can be health matters, certainly, once again, that you've avoided dealing with. It can be conflicts, problems in your workplace with your colleagues also. Now, Mars rules the 12th house of your chart, of course, and he's in the 6th house opposite to that. So some of you may have to take medical advice, have some medical procedure even during this time. It's going to work out perfectly. You're going to be so glad that you went ahead with it. Mars gives you the power to remove sickness from your body. You see, Mars also has an 8th aspect onto the ascendant. You need to take care of your health because something is not being taken care of, which needs to be. So any health checkup now will be very, very useful to you. Financially, it's a very important time. This is the actual house of debt. You need to get rid of excessive debt in your life. Mars is aspecting house of expenses. So expenses are just going up and up and up, and you need to deal with them. But it's good because Lord of your house of expenses has gone into the opposite house. You can curtail them. You can take control of them now. It's an excellent time for studying, for students, for higher education, for knowledge of all sorts. You apply yourself extremely well, and studying, education goes very well in the whole of this transit. Mars gives you a deep philosophical understanding because he is your 12th Lord aspecting 12th house, and he rules 5th house of learning. So it's excellent for study, philosophy, deep spiritual knowledge and wisdom during this time. Some of you may be even traveling to foreign lands. Once again, dealing with them is extremely fortunate. Capricorn, Moon and Ascendant. Mars is not a friend to your Lord Saturn, but he can be a favorable planet for you in the right circumstances because he finds exaltation in your own sign. So definitely Mars in the 5th house will give you creative solutions to many long-standing problems. You can become quite dynamic indeed during the whole of this transit. It's quite favorable for your financial affairs, some of you, as long as you don't go into mad speculative gain, because Mars tempts you into quick solutions to long-term problems. You should be cautious of those. But Mars aspect onto the 8th house helps businesses, helps self-employment, helps you to gain cooperation of others financially. It's very good for savings, investments, and all sorts of financial dealings, sorting them out in your favor. The aspect of Mars onto the 11th house is good for job opportunities, creative opportunities, doors opening up to you in your organization, in your workspace. It's good for starting out on some new business factor, but do it slowly. Don't jump ahead quickly. Think things out. Marketplace opportunities may be there. And Mars's aspect, 8th aspect onto the 12th house, can get rid of expenses now. You can curb excess expenses. You can curb losses. You can deal with many things that have been giving you financial anxiety with creative solutions during this transit. But Mars is still a planet of conflict, and opposite to your house of friendship, network circles. He also can bring conflict into your work situation. There may be some highly competitive situations developing among your work colleagues, and you are becoming embroiled in this. If you have children, there could be some conflict, difficulty dealing with them during this time. But again, you will sort this out slowly and carefully. Mars here, though, is excellent for starting a family, for childbirth and for pregnancy. And finally, for those seeking romance, new relationship, it's quite favorable because Mars is in the sign of Venus, the planet of love, of course, and attraction. So strong attractions could be sparked off during this time. Maybe some of you in your workplace even, or among your network circles. For Aquarius, Moon and Lagna, it's all shaking in your domestic life and your career life. Long-term changes in the whole direction of your life are beginning to take place in this Mars transit. But as I've just said, Mars goes backwards again into Taurus when he leaves in the autumn. So it actually is a long-term factor going right up into the spring of next year. As I've said at the beginning of the video, Mars in Taurus is good for property deals. So make the most of this. You could get a fantastic property deal sale, and it could be very, very successful. Just moving into a new home now of any sort will be a very important factor for your life. It's something which is more or less unavoidable. At the least, major changes have to be made to your living situation. But Mars is your third house lord. It actually rules contention, quarrel, dispute. It's gone into the fourth house. In your domestic life, it's not smooth at all, especially even with your neighbors, people who live near to you. Now, Mars has a fourth aspect onto the house of spouse, partner, relationships, and also business partners. So you're taking control. The fourth aspect is about control. You're very pushy right now. You're determined to have your way, but watch out. It could spark a little bit of difficulty. It's more difficult in your career, in your work situation. Mars having a full aspect here onto the house of career means that a complete transformation of your career will begin in these next 8 weeks. Are you happy with your superiors, with your boss? Probably not. Are you even happy with your work colleagues? Again, probably not. Your whole working situation needs to be completely transformed. Or even though long term Mars is going to hugely change your life domestically and career wise, in the next 8 weeks, take caution because Mars slows down, as I say at the beginning. When he gets to the end of this sign, he's losing a bit of power. So don't dig yourself into some big confrontation with the boss, with superiors, with your work colleagues. Try to work things out. Try to mediate everything. If you are seeking a new job, that may be there for you. Openings may be there, but they will entail a complete domestic change. Important to know that Mars in a Kendra house like this will transform your life, and particularly aspecting 11th house, your goals in life will change. During the next 8 weeks, you'll see the beginnings of this. What you think you are looking to do in life, what you are hoping for, aiming for, will be completely transformed. And this transit is the beginning of that process. For Pisces, Moon and Ascendant, this is a very favorable placement for Mars to be in your chart. He is a lord of your second house, financial factors, and your ninth house, education, higher learning, foreign travel, gurus, and religion, something which is very important to you. Now, Mars is Karaka for this third house. He likes to be in this third house. He likes to deal with quarrels, contentions, sort things out, come out on top. And he rules your speech as well. So your speech becomes very dynamic, even aggressive sometimes. Watch it. It could go over the top depending on your own chart. But that's rare. Generally speaking, it's a very favorable factor for your communication. If you have job interviews, presentations to do, they will go extremely well indeed. Now, for some of you, because of Mars aspect onto the 6th house and the 9th house, there may be legal issues dealing with lawyers, courts of justice, litigation, whatever it is, you're going to come out on top. In fact, Mars third house is great for dealing with any confrontation that you've been putting off maybe. Health issues get seen to. New advice comes to you. You sort things out, and your health and your mental health can actually benefit greatly from this Mars in this third house. If you are in education, it's really good because Mars's aspect onto the ninth house gets you the very best education opportunities. You may completely change something about your education because third house Mars takes matters into his own hands. But whatever you do, take advice of your mentors, teachers, etc. You will be on the right direction, definitely. It's a good transit for independent ideas, independent motivation. You can start off a whole new business. You can start off a whole new career under the inspiration of this third house Mars. But in your job, you are definitely going to be doing things differently, deciding on your own way forward. The problem is that there is an 8th aspect to the 10th house. So you may get restless and want to give up a job, move on to something else. Once again, take it slow. Mars has a long transit in Taurus. Even after he leaves, he goes back again, as I've said at the beginning of the video. So changes will be there. Don't rush into them too quickly. Look out and see what the opportunities actually are. This long transit of Mars in Taurus is going to really have a good impact on your income, on your stability of your finances, all through your own enterprise. Mars third house gives you, as I say, ingenious ideas. It's good for startup business. It's excellent for anything off your own bat. Some of you may be becoming writers, bloggers, internet entrepreneurs, anything like that. Mars third house definitely favors it. Whatever you are doing, it's something you've thought of actually doing before, but now you're going to put it into practice. Now, Mars is a karaka for your brothers, if you should have brothers, and he's in the house of siblings. So definitely siblings, particularly maybe for some of you brothers, are going to have an important role in your life more than usual, and it's generally going to be extremely favorable. Take advice for them. They can show you wonderful openings, opportunities even during this time. Check out the other long-term transits influencing your life right now up on your screen. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to sub below. Goodbye for now and God bless everyone.